Here's a snapshot, very high level. This certainly does not make up the entire Cleantech Open team, but it does highlight who's on the line currently from the Cleantech Open. The Northeast team consists of Beth Zonas, our regional director, myself, Trisha Dinkel is our program manager for the Northeast, and our program coordinator is Dominic Pastoral, who joins us from Northeastern University, and most recently, he's back home in Chicago. Also on the line and joining us and running our program on a national level is our national leadership. So that consists of Ken Hayes, our executive director, and Jessica Smotherman, who's our director of operations. Both work tirelessly to ensure that the program throughout all regions runs smoothly and supports all of the regional staff, as well as runs and supports the program on a national level. So I'd like to introduce Rob Parker, who can say a few words on behalf of the consulate and the partnership that we've enabled with the Cleantech Open and the Cleantech Open Northeast.
Hi, freaking audio. Rob Parker. I've been a volunteer with the Cleantech Open for a long time, so I work really closely, can speak to the tremendous impact it makes on the companies that it works with that go through the program. But the hat I'm wearing today is representing the Canadian Consulate in New York. They're a client of my firm, working on their Cleantech desk. And one of the programs that Canada runs is a Canadian Technology Accelerator program with a Cleantech focus. And last year, the consulate launched a partnership with the Cleantech Open because the Trade Commissioner Services really help bring any Canadian companies into their markets of expertise as best they can, and also assess whether or not they're ready for that. And one of the tools that we wanted to be able to provide Canadian companies was one, additional mentors and resources in the target markets that they're looking in, whether it was Boston or New York or Canada, but also, in San Francisco and other parts of the West Coast, but also to help get qualified Canadian companies more through the CTA than the CTA program could handle, as well as for companies that we thought were promising but might not be ready for our services on the market. The Cleantech Open was an ideal partnership for kind of stage. Okay. No, the wonders of working through virtual webinars. But so anyway, I just, so right now the government of Canada is obviously focused tremendously on its response to COVID-19 and the public health crisis and helping its citizens. But the CTA Cleantech application process is open, and we're trying to work hand in hand again with the Cleantech Open for 2020. But we're still sorting how things are going to go, whereas the Cleantech Open is moving full speed ahead. And we'd really encourage any companies that are interested, given the new operating parameters for the Cleantech Open that are north of the U.S. border, to consider applying to the Cleantech Open. And you'll hear from the rest of the team here on one, what a tremendous program it is, but also some other alumni from Canada that participated. So any resources you need or questions, we'll circulate my contact info after the call. But happy to be here, and I'd like to thank Beth and Trisha and Ken and Jessica for pulling everything together on this team. They're great partners to work with in general, from my own personal experience, and especially for the consulate. So you're in good hands, and thank you for letting me plug Canada and the Canadian Technology Accelerator. Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much, Rob. And Rob is a staple to the Cleantech Open Northeast team. He supports largely not only the Northeast program in full, but our New York team that operates and runs all of the New York programming. So Rob is a longtime veteran of the program and has really been a major support through growing our New York network. So just before I introduce Beth Zonas, our regional director, I just want to remind everyone who is on the line, if you are not speaking, if you could make sure to mute yourself. If you're on the phone, please mute your phone. If you're on the computer, please find the little microphone icon and mute yourself. This will help any audio glitches and to make sure that the speaker is able to be heard by all of the participants. So thank you very much. And of course, when we open it up for the startup pitches as well as for the Q&A, we do, encourage you to unmute yourself if you'd like to chime in, or you can use the chat box at any time throughout the presentation to ask questions or to offer information in response to other people's questions. So feel free to use that chat box as a way of networking during the presentation, but staying on mute is very helpful for the presentation to keep smooth and to make sure all participants can stay engaged. So now I'd like to introduce Beth Zonis, the Regional Director here in the Northeast, to speak about our program here in the Northeast and also to highlight some of the Canadian startups that we were fortunate to work with in 2019.
Thank you, Tricia. So we had a fabulous time with our Canadian friends last year, and a few of them are on the call today, I know. So we're planning to hear directly from Immersion and Feedback Solutions, two of our finalists from 2019. And if anyone else from the 2019 cohort, or even anyone from the 2018 cohort from Canada would like to say something or comment, please put a note in the chat box to talk with people. And if you are not speaking, please, as a reminder, please mute your line. Yeah, we had 10 startups that participated last year, and 2 of them participated in the West. The others participated in the Northeast. And like I said, they were amazing. When we were all able to do things in person, they had they came like 6 or 7 hours or more for our events, and came in happily and really raised the bar in terms of everybody's enthusiasm for the program. Really want to thank them for helping to keep everybody engaged and motivated, because it was so motivating to see how intensely they were engaged with the program. So if anybody is interested, Ken Kent from Anessa is on the line, as well as I believe maybe Sizway from Power HV, who participated last year. Anyway, our 2020 sponsors, we want to thank them all for making this possible. We are a nonprofit. We do not take equity in any of the startups that go through the program. At a national level, we're sponsored by Wells Fargo. And at a regional level within the Northeast, our 2 biggest sponsors, our premier sponsors, are the Massachusetts Clean Energy Center and NYSERDA, which is the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority. And then you see as well, Canada, the Canadian Consulate in New York specifically is one of our regional silver sponsors, as well as a few law firms, Foley Hoag, Sunstein, and then going down to the bronze level, we have Mintz, and then 3 corporations who work closely with our startups when they are going through the program and when they finish: Chubb, which is an insurance company, Schneider Electric, and Constellation. Toward the bottom, you'll see a lot of different logos, and those are our in-kind sponsors. So they are providing services and products directly to our startups. So there are software packages and space offers, and even a developer kit. There's marketing services and much more. So lots of opportunities there for our startups to really get going, and our legal firms also, and also there's an accounting firm that provides services as well. So I will turn it back over. Oh, before I turn it back over, I wanted to also say, if you are a clean tech startup and you are thinking about applying to Cleantech Open, we would like for you to write your name and your company name in the chat box so we can call you out and give you 1 minute to give your pitch. So please start now, write your name and your company name in the chat box so that we can write you down and call you out to do a 1 minute pitch after we finish the next section. That will be really fun, and we'll give you some instructions about what that includes. And now I'll turn it back over to Tricia.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Beth. And so as Beth mentioned, staying engaged or learning more about our program right now, we'll go into the parameters of the program as well as let you all know on how to apply and the access link for filling out an application to join us for the 2020 Accelerator program. So coming up, we do have, as hosted by our national team, Ken and Jessica, we have informational webinars coming up through mid-April. Stay tuned by following us on the Cleantech Open national handle, the Cleantech Open Northeast handle, and NECEC, which is the affiliate organization for the Cleantech Open Northeast. That will keep you informed about any new events because we're in a time and place right now where we're challenged, obviously, to be meeting in person. We want to continue to be offering these virtual events and webinars, and any way we can continue to bring together our network and provide the information for interested startups, prospective mentors, judges, and anyone who's looking to be involved or just learn more about the program. We want to make sure we continue to provide those opportunities as best as we can virtually for the foreseeable future. So staying in tune and keeping in touch with our social media platforms, as well as referencing our website, which is that large link in the banner ahead, that will certainly notify you of any upcoming events or recently added events in order to keep the networking and the recruiting tiers open. So now we're asking the question, for those of you who are on the line looking to learn a little bit more, what is the Cleantech Open Accelerator program? We're proud in 2020 to be going into our 15th year of operation. We are a nonprofit, as Beth mentioned, and we are funded by a robust amount of sponsors on both a regional level as well as an in-kind level, and then again on the national level. Myself and Beth, we represent and run the Northeast program. There are 6 regional chapters throughout the US. And as a Canadian startup, you are encouraged and welcome to participate. For example, if you are located in Vancouver, participating in the Western program, which operates out of the western part of the United States in California, that would make the most sense in terms of participating into a region that is closest to where you're headquartered. So in the Northeast, if you're located in Montreal, that would make sense for you to apply and to participate in the Northeast region. If you have any questions about the regional districts of the program or any hesitation as to where you should apply, feel free to reach out. Everyone on this call will receive an email with both the slides as well as recording of this webinar for you to reference, as well as for you to have our contact information for both the Northeast team as well as our national team. We are hosting events right now. They are virtual, but we will continue to transition any events that were traditionally in person to virtual events in order to still capture the sense of bringing our community together, providing the expertise, the speakers, and the workshop opportunities that are provided through the events. So we're not slowing down by any stretch of the imagination in doing that and making sure that we continue to add that tremendous value that we believe our program offers throughout all of the regions. So what qualifies as clean tech? So we do define clean technology as an extended version, not just focused on energy generation, distribution, storage, or efficiency, but it also extends into areas like green buildings, agriculture, water and waste, chemicals and advanced materials, communication and information technology. A lot of times startups will have overlap between various clean tech sectors. That's okay, that's encouraged. We do know that environmental solutions, as well as the environmental problems that we're facing, aren't as restricted into one tier or the next. So you should be encouraged if your startup does cover more than one sectors, but you should also be encouraged if you're only founded in one of these sectors. So we really expand that definition in order to address the fact that environmental solutions and technology and services and products, they come in all different forms, and they're addressing a wide array of issues that our current environment and our future environment are and will be facing. The CTO Accelerator program, it is an annual program. It kicks off at the beginning of June and runs through the beginning of October with a culminating regional and pitch competition, which all startups will, in for each region participate in that pitch competition for an opportunity to win cash prizes. The top teams from all of the regions will go on to compete on a national level in the national pitch competition. That's called our global forum. We'll get into the dates so you can have a sense of what the CTO schedule is in just a few minutes here. But overall, throughout the course of the program, you will have the opportunity to really develop, put your head down, and accelerate that development through your startup through a number of different factors. So we will provide the training several different ways. Those include our business clinics, practice judging, practice pitch opportunities, as well as our 2-day or multiple day academies that will be held virtually this year, which are jam-packed with workshops, virtual networking opportunities, and training opportunities for participating startups. Again, those academies will kick off the accelerator program, but then throughout their program, opportunities to participate in the business clinics and then a weekly online curriculum helps really accelerate that development, provides the resources as well as the opportunity for feedback from your mentor team. Each startup team, upon entering the program and being accepted in the program, is matched with a team of mentors. In the Northeast, that team of mentors is up to 4 mentors. And each mentor is matched based off of the expertise that the mentor provides, as well as the needs of the startups. So all of the regions work really hard to find the right people to fit with the startups. We all have a very robust and large mentor database that volunteers from our mentor community and our larger professional community participate each year in mentoring startups. Your mentoring team, you work with them throughout the duration of the program, but you are also able to call on experts from all around the country that are able to help with either a specific issue, challenge, or specific point of expertise. So not only will you have a dedicated team of mentors, but you'll also be able to call on our ever-growing mentor database in order to really augment or to support the development of your business. The program also provides a platform for showcasing. That's done, again, through several different channels. The regional events and the regional finals, those provide a showcasing opportunity for all of the participating startups that year to meet the attendees for the finals and to showcase what their company is all about in a widespread floor showcasing opportunity. There's also, on a national level at the Global Forum, additional opportunities to have visibility for your startup and to put your business in front of the attendees from the wider community. The showcasing also extends to your affiliation with the Cleantech Open, which is a platform for additional press exposure. The network that we are able to expose our startups to can serve for additional visibility, additional marketing purposes, and also being able to attribute your development to the notoriety of the Cleantech Open program. And finally, which last and certainly not least, is the access to capital that the program provides. The stage of clean tech startups that we traditionally work with through the program is early stage pre-seed funding. So access to capital is on the forefront of all startups' mind, but certainly there's a lot of development work that needs to happen. So throughout the program, you will be having back in developing the right materials and in really honing in on a strong pitch for your startup. All of that will help, so when you are put in front of investors, whether it's through one of our targeted Investor Connect meetings or through a network connection that you make at one of our events or an introduction that's facilitated through the CTO program, you will be able to build up your network and overall your access to the capital and those funding opportunities. The CTO online curriculum is meant to provide the resources as well as a weekly training program for all startups. So this is fairly rigorous in the sense where it does require startups to stay on top of the curriculum on a weekly basis. The great thing about working with mentors is you're able to work on the curriculum, but also to elicit the feedback from your mentors team, either on specific topics or again, just general business development feedback, input, insights that they can offer as you work through the curriculum. It's meant to not only guide the development through the program, to keep you on track and to really accelerate that development, but it's also providing you the resources and essentially having you develop the deliverables that will really accelerate your access to those funding opportunities to investors, and be able to continue to work on those materials throughout the course of your business. So it's not meant to be completing these deliverables just for the course of checking a box throughout the program, but it's really to be able to support your program, support your startup long-term, well after the completion of the program. So you can see here a list of the 8 essential business deliverables that are ultimately produced at the end of the program. And again, these aren't just produced and turned in, they go through all of the feedback channels. You'll have multiple opportunities to develop, to go back, to edit, and to update these materials throughout the program. And then, of course, as I mentioned, long after the program is completed. So looking at the 2020 schedule on a national level, looking at how the schedule will operate, as well as highlighting some of the key dates in both the East and the West. So kicking off on May 29th and 30th is the Academy West. That will be held online this year, which does make it, particularly if you're located in Canada, pretty easy in terms of travel for participating. Both the Academy West and the Academy East are required for all accepted and participating startups to attend and to participate in. So we are working very hard, and we're really excited actually this year to have these academies available virtually. We have some creative ways to engage, but also we feel like the information will be able to be organized, and we'll be able to meet each other virtually. And at that point, we'll all be very well versed in how to do all of that. So we are excited for this new opportunity. We're taking this challenge on with an optimistic tone. And so for the Academy East, that will be held June 2nd and 3rd. And again, that will be virtually online. So should you be accepted in the program, please make sure to save these dates to your calendar so you can be sure to attend. From June through to September is when the business clinics and the online curriculum that will take you through several months. Again, the business clinics will be held on a regional basis in the Northeast. We primarily hold the clinics in Boston and in New York City. You're welcome to attend either. They run in parallel, so they're not either mutually exclusive, and they're not meant to provide additional events that you have to make it to. You can have your choice as to which business clinics you'd like to attend in the Northeast in either Boston or New York. We are keeping a close eye on the developments of any type of gathering. So we do have the ability to transition all of the business clinics in the Northeast to virtual events should we find ourselves in that position. And all of the participants in the program will be notified of any changes made to the schedule in real time, so they can plan accordingly. By the end of September, we'll be heading into the finals. So this is, again, where all of the startups from all of the regions, they'll be participating in the pitch and business plan competition. So in addition to judges voting and deciding on who the top pitches are, they'll also be reviewing the deliverables that you created throughout the course of the program. So it's both a pitch competition as well as a business plan competition. And so those materials prove valuable long after the program, but also during the program in terms of being able to earn that recognition or that title of one of the top regional teams. So keeping that in mind, we are holding the Northeast finals in Boston, Massachusetts this year, and that will be on October 1st and 2nd. And then the Global Forum, which is, again, that national pitch competition where all of the top regional teams move on to compete against one another for one singular national title and recognition. And that will be held in San Jose, California as a part of the Verge conference from October 27th to October 29th, with more details to follow on the exact timing. So when you apply for the Cleantech Open, there are 3 major areas that we look at in order to evaluate the best fit startups for the program. So we're looking at the bare minimum criteria, which is, do you have a clean tech product, technology, service, and how do you fit the criteria that we explained as that overarching general clean tech definition, as well as the size of your startup. So we do look at and target early stage startups because they will get the most out of the program, and the focus of the curriculum is on that early stage development piece. We also evaluate and take into consideration these three pieces of the market. So have you defined the market? Is there a large and significant need? How important or relevant is that market? And how persuasive are you in connecting your solution to that market? Does it address the market need? Is your solution potentially disruptive? Is it a technology that will really have the market rethink or disrupt it altogether? So again, looking at how those responses are framed and how you're bringing your solution or would like to bring your solution to market are all considered in the application review process. And then finally, and arguably one of the most important criteria is your team. So not just looking at your team and in terms of the credentials that your team has or the experience that your team has, while those are extremely important in the development of your business, for the accelerating at this program itself, we're looking at your team in terms of, are you coachable? Are there gaps in the team that you're looking to address through this program, or to build up your internal leadership in order to seek additional support through a larger team? But truly, we're trying to work with teams that are susceptible to coaching, to feedback, that can work well with not only their mentoring teams, not only our internal program teams, but also with their team themselves, as well as with the program, the curriculum, and taking it all in order to maximize the outcome of the program and the impact that the program has on the development of their business. So now it's my pleasure speaking to their experience in the program, as well as giving insight on the business itself. I'd like to introduce Hanif, who was a 2019 alum for the Cleantech Open Northeast, and also was a Northeast finalist, moving on to the national competition, where they were recognized as a top Northeast team. So with no further ado, I'll turn it over to Hanif with Energen.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Tricia. Fantastic to hear again from you guys. Very quickly, I don't want to take too much time. I just want to share my experience with everyone here. So we are a green tech company that we have invented new type of air conditioning that saves 70% electricity. And very kindly, we were nominated by the New York Consulate last year, and we were introduced to this amazing team. And we participated last year in basically all through this Cleantech Open in Boston, and they eventually went to Los Angeles. So one of the things I wanted to share is that when we were proposed to participate, we did not know what we would get at the end of the day. And but at the end of the day, what happened to us was during one of the judges in our presentation happened to be a Schneider Electric, and from Samir, he connected us with another group in a Schneider Electric, and we got to build a very interesting relationship that happened, and something that we did not expect to happen. And so that was very, very fruitful in terms of a very strategic business development relationship that we managed to build. And on top of that, it just happened that we met a number of investors, one of them that became more serious, and we met that investor particularly in Los Angeles when we were going to the national basically competition. And so, I mean, we kind of became quite surprised in terms of how much we got from this from Cleantech Open. But I can't emphasize that I encourage every Canadian team participate into Cleantech Open. We got amazing exposure, and we could not basically, we did not anticipate the exposure that we got through this amazing team. So Trisha, I'm going to get it back to you. I don't want to take too much time. If there's any question, we'd be happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Hanif. I really appreciate it. And to echo Hanif, it really was a fantastic experience working with him and his team. And thank you again, Hanif,
Sure.
for joining us on this call.
Sure. Thank you so much.
All right. Also, speaking on behalf of our 2019 alumni Canadian startups, would like to introduce Dave Wally, who's with Feedback Solutions, another top team out of the Northeast, who had the opportunity to be recognized as a regional finalist.
Thank you, Tricia. Nice to hear from you, Hanif. It's been too long. And also I would like to thank Beth and Ken and Jessica. I would echo Hanif's comments. A great experience for us. We weren't sure what to expect, but I have to say the two things. One, the Cleantech Open is an extremely comprehensive and robust curriculum. Everything from the business model canvas to getting ready to present to investors and everything in between. The focus on the customer discovery. It's fantastic discipline. It's still helping us today at Feedback Solutions. We still continue to pivot based on feedback from prospective customers and active customers. And for the Canadian companies, the sequence of going through the Cleantech Open and then being able to participate with the Canadian Technology Accelerator is extremely powerful. The networking opportunities between the team and the mentors at Cleantech Open, along with the networks of the trade commissioners in the key cities, Rob Parker sitting in New York, Boston, LA, San Francisco, Denver. You're going to get to people you could never get to on your own. So do keep that in mind. For us, for Feedback Solutions, we're in the energy efficiency space for buildings. We make large commercial buildings more efficient based on real-time occupant counts. And for us, just some shameless self-promotion, because of the CTO and CTA networking capabilities, Boston, New York, LA, we've established a beachhead in Los Angeles. We just finished an install in New York City with New York University, and I'm going on a call in about half an hour with the New York Public Library, and that's in conjunction with the city of New York. So we've gotten further faster than we could have otherwise done. So I'd encourage people to take a very, very serious look at the program.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dave. Really appreciate it, and wanted to just comment on one of the things you noted was really staying in tune and continuing to use the material. So it's great to hear that is the case, and obviously add some credibility to it when it's not just me that's saying it. So one of the things that we, on a national level, in order to keep the integrity and the value of the program at the level that we believe is necessary, are always making sure that all of the curriculum is relevant to the ongoing development of the business. So thank you for highlighting that, Dave, and thanks for offering your insights on the program.
Cheers.
All right, so now we're going to turn it back over to you, and I'll introduce Beth, who will guide us through a fun startup pitch competition or a sequence of pitches with a friendly recognition of, I shouldn't say competition, more of a, just in that mindset, more of a ability to hear from the startups who are on the line, what they're working on and what their business focus is. So
Sure
Beth,
thing.
if you'd like to guide us through that.
Yes, and I wanted to just also tee up, so after the pitches, we'll hear from Ken Hayes, the Executive Director of Cleantech Open as well. So what I've got now is I have a list of seven startups. I'm really excited to hear what you all are working on. So I'm going to read off the names and the companies, and I want to make sure that I haven't missed anybody. If there's someone else who wants to pitch, just enter your name in the chat box. But we'll do this alphabetically. So we have John Kincaid of Second Life. He's based in Fort Erie, Ontario. We have Hamid Kakpour of Atraveda Science, who's in Buffalo, New York. We have Ra'ad Arab of Cogenerate Solar, who's in Ottawa, Ontario. We have Kathleen Hefferon of Forest Ridge Renewables, who's in both Toronto and Ithaca, New York. We have Mario Signori of Greenline Boston. We have next Mohammed Al-Lahi, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that right. You can say it correctly when it's your turn, of Plugzio in Vancouver. And the seventh one is Olugbenga Olubanjo, who's with Reedy in Toronto. If there's anyone that still wants to pitch who's not in that list, please enter your name in the chat box and tell us your name, your company name, and your location. All right, so here's what's going to happen. We're going to hear first from our new friend, John Kincaid of Second Life. So what I'm going to ask you to do, John, is to have a timer ready. I will time you all for 1 minute so that you will have 1 minute to speak. My suggestion is to have your own timer as well. I am not going to interrupt you while you're speaking, but I will let you know when your time is up. So, so John, whenever you are ready, it would be great to have you put your video on so we can see you, if that's possible. And I don't know, is John available to be seen or to be heard? If your video is not an option, we'll do it like a phone call, and you can speak. So John Kincaid, send us a signal and let me know when you're ready. John, are you there? We can come back to you if you're not ready. I can unmute you so you can speak, but if you want to show your
I found
video,
the yeah. I was apologize. I was managing multiple screens. So
okay, are you able to show your screen as well?
Just a second. I'm just wondering. Sorry to be a pain. Trying to.
There's a little signal. If you're on a computer, there's a stop video, start video. There you go. So you're coming up. There you go. Okay,
hey.
Let me know when you're ready.
Great.
All right.
So I'll do this off my top. I'm looking at my slides when I'm doing this. So just give me a second to get the slide point.
Okay, you've got 1 minute, and then I will get you started.
Okay. Right. Right. I'm ready to go.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, well, Second Life Batteries, just a little correction. Actually, we're based in Buffalo, New York, too, and just outside Buffalo. But we do have another business in Canada. Okay, Second Life Batteries is about reusing battery technology. The very high level of this is that there's lots of battery products that are used in backup power and electric vehicles and other solutions that need very high power requirements. But after either time or use, those batteries no longer meet those high performance requirements, but they have oodles of power left over. What this is a great opportunity in the marketplace because we're able to reduce the cost of power energy storage by about up to 50%. So therefore a lot of applications that like demand applications or some solar applications, they may not be affordable with brand new products, but with the lower cost, we're able to make it affordable and actually make these applications pencil out.
Great. So that's your time. So that's great. Let me turn off the timer. So thank you so much, John. It's really great to hear that you're working on this. Solar plus storage is a huge, huge topic. It's one of the initiatives of NECEC, which is the affiliate here in the Northeast running Cleantech Open. We're working on policy issues, and that is one of the huge topics is solar plus storage. So that's a really great area to be working on. I also suspect that it would be relevant for other markets, and it'd be great to see what your plans are. And there are a lot of contacts that we can definitely put you in touch with as you go through, if you apply and go through the program. So looking forward to seeing what that's all about. So thank you. Next up, we have Hamid Kakpour, and you're going to pronounce it better than I can, of Atravita Science. Are you able to share your video?
I haven't set up the camera.
Okay. All right. So we'll hear you, which is fine.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm Hamid Khalpur from Attribute Science. We are located at Buffalo, New York, and we're working on a new design for wind turbine blades. Why it's important? Because the current wind turbine blades are not satisfying the needs required for wind energy development anymore. This industry is suffering from two major pain points currently. It's efficiency, which is attributed to the wind turbine blade design, and also failure, which attributed the maintenance and maintenance cost. But also these systems are growing in size, and that's bringing another problem that is, it depends on the wind turbine blade design as well. So what we are doing right now, we are providing a blade design that's adjusting its twist according to the wind speed into optimal shape, and accordingly it provides three value propositions: increasing the efficiency by up to 14%, reducing the failure, and also improving the stability.
That is really interesting, Hamid. We do a lot of work in this region in wind, especially offshore, and I do see more wind turbines coming up, and it'd be great to have a new player in the mix with a great new idea. So thank you for that.
Thank you. That's our first target market, actually, the offshore.
Awesome. Yeah. So that's a big category for the Northeast, especially. So we're connected to many players in this area. So fabulous. Looking forward to seeing more about what that includes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So next up we have Ra'ad Arab from Cogenerate Solar, and it looks like you're all ready. So whenever you're ready, take it away.
Yes, thank you, Beth. My name is Ra'ad Arab. I am the founder and CEO of Cogenerate Solar. Cogenerate Solar is a climate change reversing company. We deliver net zero cost effectively to homes and businesses with solar alone by capturing 4 to 6 times more energy from the same rooftop compared to PV panels. We have amazing traction. We have 3 lines of products. Commercial, the first one's to address the commercial market. Following that is the ground mount solution, cogeneration, and finally it's going to be the residential solution. We have amazing traction from local customers. We have letters of intent for over $10 million, and we are seeking to raise money to go to commercialization. Thank you.
4 seconds before the timer went off. Nice job, Rod. It sounds like we'll need to look at your business to see if it makes sense for you to participate in Cleantech Open. If you've already commercialized, you probably don't need Cleantech Open. But if you are preparing to commercialize, I think this could be a fabulous program for you to participite in.
We are just rolling out our prototype, but we already have a paid customer, so we we are ready to, full design is done, and testing has been done on a single cell level. So we're just, we are ready to go to market in the next year or so.
That sounds great. So your timing could be really good for Cleantech Open, and I loved your message about reversing climate change, because I've been talking to people all the time about how we need people to start going climate or net negative instead of just net zero. So so I think you're on the right track there. It'll be great to see how that works.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So next up we have Kathleen Hefferon of Forest Ridge Renewables. So Kathleen, are you able to turn on your video and join us? There she is. All right, and your audio too. Great.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
So when you're ready, just take it away.
Sure, thank you. So I've been working for a while on using plants as a production platform to produce actually pharmaceuticals such as vaccines and things like this. And I have just incorporated a company in Toronto with a partner called Forest Ridge Healthcare. And we are producing vaccines using plants as the vehicle to produce them. And I can produce many types of protein, so I'd like to start a second company or a sister company perhaps in Ithaca and focus on dissociative enzymes such as cellulases, which are used in the food, fiber, and fuel industries. For example, they're used in cosmetics. They're used to break down plant waste for other purposes. So for other products or even for biofuels. So this is the sort of thing I'm gearing up to start a company with.
Really interesting. So your timing is great for working with the vaccines. Everybody's really focused on that these days.
Yes.
It'll be really interesting. We do work with this category of ag tech, as Tricia said, and we have more people creating some really interesting solutions to improve how we use plants and minimize waste. So it sounds really relevant, and sounds interesting to see where you're headed with that. And the biofuels area is clearly an area that that more of us should be looking at. So it sounds like you have a chemistry background, and that will be very helpful in this.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for that. And next up we have Mario Signore from Green Line Boston. I presume you're in Boston. Is that correct, Mario? There you are. Is that Mario? There you go. I can see you. Okay. Are you in Boston? Is that correct?
I am in Boston, enjoying this solitude. I'm on day 8 alone in this house.
It's a little nerve-wracking, but great to see you.
I got a nice beard going, and I've been seeing. This is good to see other people.
It is. So I'm going to turn on my timer. So whenever you're ready, you can do your thing.
Turn my timer on so I don't rant for too long. And okay, cool. So I've been working in the cannabis space for a couple of years now, and something I've seen, no matter where you go, what country you're in, there's a lot of waste. It takes about enough energy to grow 1 pound of cannabis to drive a car back and forth across the country 3 times. And outdoor cannabis, which is sun-grown, which is less labor intensive, less energy intensive, is still consuming and pulling a lot of water from local rivers and creeks, and it's a huge problem. Then the waste is going back into the environment. So my idea is to create an indoor sustainable cannabis cultivation facility, because the market and the industry is growing so fast, and it's just second to data centers now with the amount of energy consumption. It's not going anywhere. So my idea is to create a way of carbon neutral cannabis cultivation. We've explored using natural gas, tri-generation plants with combined heat and power, but that still use fossil fuels. So we've recently discovered, by mapping the steam systems in Boston, a way to tie in and use waste energy from the power plants to create the first carbon neutral cannabis production facility. We'll be able to grow, manufacture, process, package, and power all of our delivery vehicles using waste energy from the city. And I want to take this, execute it, and I want to bring it to other cities where people are choosing to grow indoor because of the higher quality and the control you have over the product. So I want to bring this to other cities and other places and start pulling some of the energy and waste that our industry is creating.
Very cool. Okay, well, thank you for that. That's really interesting. We actually had a couple of startups last year in our program who are working on different aspects of the cannabis industry, and so connecting you with them might be an interesting step. So.
Looking for like-minded people to talk about this stuff. Whether I get to work, I'd love to work with you guys, but if not, just people I could work with to try to make this a better place for everybody.
Yep. And one of the law firms we work with actually has a cannabis practice. We have Foley Hoag. So happy to make those connections for you as if you end up applying and participating.
Love it. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. So thanks for telling us your story. So next up we have Mohammed of Plugzio, and he's in Vancouver. So Mohammed, there you are. Okay. So when you're ready, turn on your, okay, you have your audio on. So when you're ready, tell us your story. Oh, no, we don't have your audio. So you're not mute on my side.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you. Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much for even trying my
There's a
last
little
name.
bit of background noise, so
Okay.
make sure it settles down. Okay. Now you went quiet. Now we can't hear you.
How about this one? Oh,
Now we can hear you. That's good.
This is good?
Okay. Yes. All right. When you're
Good?
ready,
Okay, good.
go for
Thank
it.
you so much for trying my last name even. That's Beth. I appreciate that. You survived. Yeah, I always love the forced pause after my first name because it's like Mohammed and then like, what is it? So you can hear me now, right? We're good. Okay, no, I can't hear anyone. Okay, so yeah, I'm talking about beard Mario. I'm growing one too. I look more like Al Qaeda. I get scared of myself in the mirror. Yours is much better. So yeah, so my name is Mohammed Akhlaqi. I was recognized as one of the top 30 under 30 in VC business in 2018, and I'm glad to be here. So I'm CEO of Plugzio. Plugzio is the simplest and most affordable platform anyone can use to share and charge for the usage of electricity. And how is that useful? You know, electric mobility is on the rise, and electric vehicle, electric scooters, they can charge using regular outlets. And that's exactly where the problem begins. People are being denied access to regular outlets because the charge of electricity usually goes to the property and not the user. So electricity wasn't designed to be shared on a micro level. So Plugzio is a patent pending solution. It's a consumption monitored outlet, as you can see right here, that automatically bills and monitors the user who activates the outlet using the QR code at the top. So the person who activates it pays for the fair share of electricity. We received our UL certification last month before the Corona hit us. And we're technically the McDonald's of chargers in the market, so we're recession proof. We're expanding into the US market and would love to be in touch with all of you. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Mohammed. That's really cool. And you should be aware that we have a lot of expertise in our mentor pool as well as in our alumni pool with folks who've gone through with various types of mobility and electric charging solutions. So lots of connections there, and mobility is a huge topic, and electric charging. We had a couple of startups here in the Northeast involved in it last year, and in prior years too that I'm thinking of. So definitely some good people for you to connect with and see if there are some synergies. So thanks. We look forward to seeing your application. So next up we have Olugbenga Olubanjo in Toronto. He's with Reedy. So Olu, when you're ready, if you can, there you are. Okay, great. So now we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I had to wear that because my head is like messed up. So my name is Olu, like you said, as Blake said, and what we do basically is we at Ready we provide clean and reliable electricity to household and businesses operating in the energy poor regions of the world. So over the years, we've designed these energy systems. They are very portable systems that could be used by individuals in the energy poor regions of the world to access grid-like electricity. The uniqueness of our model is the way we supply electricity. We leverage on the RV as a service business model to supply electricity at a very affordable cost. And at the same time, what we did was to make our system very dispatchable, so people can always like move it all around. We are specifically targeting African and Southeast Asia communities where energy is a big challenge. But at the same time, we are also looking at the resiliency and emergency market in the US. So we are looking at places where like the California wildfire, where people need like access to emergency energy. Those are some of the markets we are currently looking at. As we speak, we have 600 households and businesses, combined household and businesses monthly, that use our system. We are currently running a very micro-scale pilot. So kind of at very early stage, and also like just trying to quickly wrap up stuff, because I just finished school. I'm just trying to like get it out. So basically that's what we do.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Olu. It's really interesting to hear what you're working on. I think if you are interested in working through the Canadian system there with CTA and being involved with CTA and with Cleantech Open, I think that could be a really interesting opportunity for you to build your business in the US. And it sounds kind of like an opportunity for maybe connected to this concept of microgrids. Am I right? Is that okay? Because that's a huge topic, and one of our Northeast sponsors is Schneider Electric, whom we mentioned earlier, and they're very interested in working with teams that have microgrid related solutions. So yeah, so that could be really cool.
Thank you.
So absolutely, I think that's it. Is there anybody else? There's one more I see who wants to pitch. So Mark Baggio of Zinc Air Battery, you made it just under the wire here. So Mark, if you'd like to show us your screen and tell your story, that would be fabulous. I'm glad that you entered your name at the last moment there. So why don't you go ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay, good. So we're called Zinc 8 Energy Solutions. We have our labs in Vancouver, and we also have an office in Toronto. We're about 25 people in total. And we did develop a zinc air battery technology. We've been together for since 2012. We're not in full commercialization yet. We're deploying our first battery in Surrey, first quarter of 2021. We recently won the NIPA Innovation Challenge and are deploying a battery in upstate New York with the New York Power Authority. And we recently signed a deal with Digital Energy to deploy another battery with the support of NYSERDA. So we know Rob Parker. He invited us on today. So thanks, Rob. We appreciate that. And that's us.
Fabulous. So I'm glad you know Rob. He's a good guy to know. We like working with Rob too. So yeah, so nice, good story, Mark. It sounds like you've already gotten quite a bit of traction and you have a pretty decent sized team. So if you're looking to grow your business in the US, there could be a really good opportunity for you with Cleantech Open.
We're about 3 years from commercialization, so.
Okay, so yeah, so definitely what you're working on is extremely relevant. So thank you, Rob, for bringing Mark in. We love to hear those kinds of solutions, so thank you. So I think that is a wrap for all of our pitches. And now what I'd like to do is turn it over to our friend Ken Hayes, who's the Executive Director for Cleantech Open National on the West Coast. So Ken, if you'd like to say a few words about Cleantech Open, take it away.
Sure, thanks, Beth. Hello, everyone, and thank you also in particular to Beth and Trisha and Dominique in the Northeast, and to Rob with the Canadian Consulate. And we're also glad working with Evan, also with the Canadian Consulate in San Francisco. So my main word from National is that we have a really interesting opportunity this year. We're kind of taking advantage of the fact that many areas are locked down. We're not allowed to travel. We can't have large gatherings. So we took the decision a couple of weeks ago to make Cleantech Open much more online friendly. And this has really opened up an opportunity to companies and entrepreneurs from around North America, in particular Canada on this call, to be able to participate in a program that typically we've not been able to offer. We're typically very hands-on, in-person events. We are learning of how to make the best of that and provide great value to entrepreneurs who participate remotely. The other thing I want to mention is we're not necessarily trying to get companies to move to America. Cleantech Open is about learning how to do business in America and finding those contacts, building the network, getting into the ecosystem to really make your business successful. And so whether you participate in the Northeast, in the West, in the Rocky Mountain region, wherever it might be most appropriate for your business or your technology, we will help match you to fantastic mentors and get you plugged into the ecosystem. So again, thanks to Beth and her team and Rob and his colleagues. And we look forward to working with as many of you as possible.
Thank you, Ken. And I'm going to turn it back over to Tricia, but if anybody does have any questions at all, please put them in the chat box. And I know we're over our time that we had set this meeting for. So if you do have a question, please feel free to ask it in the chat box, and we will get back to you either as a group or individually, depending on the question that you ask. And now I'll turn it back over to Tricia for closing remarks.
Yes, thank you, Beth. And thanks again, Ken, noting some great points about how we're using the program to work with international markets, but also addressing the fact on how we are transitioning and really strengthening the virtual components of the program that fortunately for our program already really had strong tools, resources, and virtual networks that we're now just making sure are continuing to be built, and we're able to allocate the right amount of focus to leveraging those tools throughout the program and for the foreseeable future. So I want to thank every one of you for attending today's webinar. As I mentioned at the beginning, but just as a reminder, this information, including a recording of the webinar as well as the webinar slides, will be sent out in an email to everyone who registered for the meeting. So keep an eye out for that. The email will also have important links for the application, as well as if you're interested in being involved in the program in another role beyond just participating as a startup. So if you're someone who is really intrigued at the opportunity to mentor a startup through the program, details on the mentoring program will also be available in that follow-up email. So thank you once again for joining us on this afternoon, for bringing our network into our homes, and it's great to see and hear from so many of you, and we look forward to seeing many of your applications come through. So thanks again, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.